The research station hummed with its usual sterile efficiency, but Anna Chen's locker told a different story. Two pairs of luminous amber eyes blinked up at her from the shadows between her spare uniforms and protein bars. "You'll get me fired," she whispered, unable to suppress her smile as she quickly closed the locker door most of the way, leaving just enough gap for air. Dr. Krevthor, the station's lead xenobiologist, would have called it catastrophically inappropriate interspecies contact. The Velkari cubs weren't supposed to be anywhere near the human research wing, let alone hiding in junior botanist Anna Chen's personal storage. But Anna had never been particularly good at following rules when those rules seemed cruel. She'd found them 3 days ago in the hydroponics bay, two tiny balls of silver-blue fur, abandoned when their mother had been relocated off-station for aggressive behavior. The Velkari were apex predators from a high-gravity world, their species feared across 4 systems for their hunting prowess and territorial nature. Adult Velkari stood 8 feet tall with retractable claws that could shred titanium plating. These two barely reached Anna's knee. "Anna, we have a problem." Luis Martinez appeared around the corner, his engineering uniform stained with hydraulic fluid. His expression shifted from concern to disbelief as he noticed her suspicious posture. "Please tell me you're not—" A tiny chirp emerged from the locker. Luis closed his eyes. "Anna, those are Velkari cubs. They're babies, Luis. They're babies that will grow into half-ton killing machines." He ran a hand through his dark hair. "Do you have any idea what Dr. Krevthor will do if he finds out? What the Velkari sovereignty will do? Their species has a treaty clause about unauthorized custody of offspring." Anna crossed her arms. "Their mother was shipped off to some fighting arena. Protocol says the cubs get humanely euthanized because they're too young to survive relocation." She met his eyes steadily. "Tell me that's acceptable," Luis sighed. He'd known Anna since their academy days, had watched her nurse injured lab rats back to health and cry over failed seedlings. Her empathy was simultaneously her greatest strength and most dangerous liability. "What's your plan here?" he asked quietly. "I'm working on it. Anna, I'm working on it." She glanced at her data pad. "The supply ship arrives in 6 days. The Velkari homeworld has sanctuaries for orphaned cubs. If I can just keep them hidden until then, and if I can get them aboard without anyone noticing, that's insane. That's trafficking of a protected species across system boundaries. He stopped, noticing her expression. "You've already contacted someone, haven't you?" "There's a Velkari crew member on the supply ship. Her name is Charnel. I sent her an encrypted message." Anna's voice dropped. "She lost cubs of her own. She wants to help." Luis wanted to argue, to explain all the ways this could destroy both their careers. But he'd seen the alternative, had watched the cold efficiency with which the station disposed of problematic specimens. He'd never forgotten Anna's face that day, the way something bright in her had dimmed. "What do you need?" he heard himself say. Relief washed over Anna's features. "Really? I'm already complicit just by knowing. Might as well be useful." He glanced at the locker. "They need somewhere better than that. Somewhere climate-controlled with proper space. I've been taking them to the observation deck at night. It's usually empty and the environmental control are monitored." "Bad idea." Luis thought for a moment. "Bay 7 in the engineering section. It's scheduled for refit, completely offline. No cameras, no environmental sensors active. I can set up temporary life support that won't ping the main system." "Luis, you don't have to." "Yes, I do." He met her eyes. "Because you're right, and because someone has to." Over the next 6 days, they fell into a careful routine. Anna would bring the cubs to Bay 7 during shift changes, hidden in supply containers. Luis rigged a makeshift habitat from spare parts and imported environmental specs from the Velkari homeworld database. The cubs thrived, their silver-blue fur gaining luster, their chirps becoming more confident. Anna studied them obsessively, learning their behaviors, their needs. She discovered they communicated through a complex system of ear positions and tail movements, that they purred when content, a sound like distant thunder, that they were frighteningly intelligent, already problem-solving at levels that would take human children years to achieve. "They're going to remember you," Luis said one evening, watching Anna play with the cubs using a ball of crumpled foil. "When they're fully grown, they'll remember the human who saved them." "I hope so," Anna murmured. "I hope they remember that not everyone sees them as monsters." The night before the supply ship's arrival, everything nearly fell apart. Dr. Krevthor launched a surprise inspection of the research wing, including personal lockers. Anna's heart hammered as the Threnian scientist's tentacles probed her belongings, his three eyes analyzing every item with methodical precision. "Your locker smells unusual," he commented, his translator rendering his bubbling speech into flat standard. "Have you been storing biological samples improperly?" "Just some fermented vegetables from Earth," Anna lied smoothly. "Kimchi. It's an acquired taste." Dr. Krevthor's eye stalks recoiled slightly. Human food customs remain incomprehensible. "Carry on." The next morning, Lewis created a diversion, a minor coolant leak that required immediate attention, and evacuated half the station to emergency shelters. In the chaos, Anna smuggled the cubs aboard the supply ship in a cargo container marked botanical samples. Fragile. Charnel, the Velkari crew member, stood nearly 9 feet tall, her silver fur marked with the scars of a warrior. But her eyes softened when she saw the cubs. "You risked much," she said to Anna, her voice a deep rumble. "They deserved a chance." Charnel studied the young human for a long moment. "Humans are strange. Your species is soft, small, weak by most standards, yet you face down empires for the sake of cubs not your own." She placed one massive paw gently on Anna's shoulder. "The Velkari remembered debts. This will be remembered." As the supply ship departed, Lewis found Anna watching from the observation deck. "No regrets?" he asked. Anna smiled, the same smile she'd worn when first whispering to the cubs in her locker. "Not one." Somewhere in the void, 2 Velkari cubs purred contentedly, heading home, saved by a soft, small, supposedly weak human who saw predator cubs and chose compassion over protocol. That perhaps was the most human thing of all. Retriclawed can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.